Okay, my goal in this video is to dig a little deeper into the health history interaction within the Simply Act Practice app. In this case, we're in John V's chart, and we're going to work through these sections. As a high-level overview, we've got a general section, which we have the ability to edit, height, weight, and sex of the patient. This app then calculates a BMI based on that information for us, and it's also going to show us the age in that section. I have the ability to export or download a PDF of this health history data after I've entered it. Very clean PDF that can be either uploaded to another system, or for those still using paper charts, that can be used in a paper format as well. And then as we go down, we have a section for allergies, which we've already started or completed there, medications, medical history, surgeries, family history. So within the allergy section, we've already seen that 2 minutes ago, Dr. Smith confirmed that this section was complete after populating this data. We confirm a section complete, same way we do on the patient profile screen by clicking this eye icon. I can add records. Let's say I need to add additional records. I click the add button and then I can search down here. I can cancel out of that add interaction. I can copy the contents of this section. So let's say I want to, instead of retyping this somewhere else, I want to copy this into my note or somewhere else. I click that button. I go to where I want to copy the information, Control V, and that entire allergy section is copied to where I want it to go. And then I have a menu at the top right where I can review predictions. So for each section, other than medications, we've got predictive functionality built into the application. So at any time, say we're missing some allergies, we can click into here and review what the system is saying are the most likely potential allergies that this particular patient might have based on what it knows about the patient. Within this section, we can see a couple of things. Latex has a dotted underline. That means that somebody has entered additional data. So if I click into this, we see that 0 hours ago, somebody wrote that latex causes hives in this patient. Without clicking into it, though, I can toggle those detail notes on and off. So this allows us to keep a very clean layout by default. As indicated, I can blow that out or expand that if I need to, or am interested in data on any of those items. The way we add items or detail items is through the menu to the right of each item. So I can view or edit detail. And here, this is where, again, we can add any details that we want to. I can also delete a record via this menu. So let's say it was incorrectly added. It's a duplicate that I'm wanting to clean up and get rid of. It was a layman's term that I want to get rid of and put a professional name in, etc. But I can also, let's say it was a layman's term or a mistake, I can also edit that by changing the name here. And when I click on, let's say in this case, Bactrim DS, that changes it to the desired item. As we work our way down, as we go to medications, we're going to search. Showing a few things here. Number one, as I type, usually I only have to type 3-4 letters and the system's probably going to give me, it's predicting what I'm typing, it's auto-suggesting, so minimizes the amount of typing that I have to do. But as you can also see, I was trying to type metformin and I misspelled it. It's got a spell checking functionality built in too, so even without being perfect on your spelling, oftentimes it's going to be showing you what you are after. Let's put a couple others here. It's searching both brand and generic names. Either of those can be entered. Once I've finished my list, again, I can come up here, verify I'm complete. Similar to allergies, if I want to, I can copy that section, move it wherever I want to. Very quick and very easy. As we work our way down to medical history, we can see we have a button for predictions. So the system's telling us we've come up with some predictions that might be pertinent. So in this case, yes, patient does have diabetes, is being treated for blood pressure, and has a lot low thyroid levels. But let's say the other two aren't actually accurate. We just don't check those. And then we add those selected all in one go. Makes things very quick, very organized and structured. But again, I can add additional items that weren't potentially picked up on the predictions. And similar to the allergy section, I can add details. So if I want to add some contextual details, let's say on a daily basis, this patient says their blood sugars are usually running in the 120s to 150s range. I can add that, and then over time, it's going to show me a timeline. So if the patient comes in 6 months later, and we ask the same screening question, I can start seeing trends. So now, 6 months later, it's 150s to 160s. Gives me an idea that for some reason they're not as well controlled as they used to be. And then on medications, another detail, both medical history and medications, that is, another detailed thing that we can do is add activity periods. So for medicines that it's pertinent or we want to know that data, I can select a start and end date, or let's just say a start date in this case. And so now the system is going to automatically calculate for me. I've been on metformin for 9 years. One of the common class of medicines that this can be pertinent on is bisphosphonates, some of those things that we want to know. Not only how long they've been on them, but let's say they actually have stopped now. So let's say they stopped in 2023 July. So now that medicine gets moved to our inactive list. In this case, it's metformin. But I can see, number one, that it's inactive, and it's been inactive for 11 years. If I click into it, I can also see prior to being inactive, not 11 years, sorry, 11 months. Prior to being inactive, the patient was on it for 8 years. So very quick, I'm not calculating that stuff manually. The system is taking care of that for me as we go. But similar to what we talked about above, it's not going to by default show inactive. So we keep a nice, as clean as possible list, but we also have the ability to quickly toggle in and out of inactive to see if there's anything pertinent there. And as we work our way down, again, same sort of functionality, most common surgeries that apply to this particular patient, but I can manually add additional ones. If that's everything, I can verify it complete. And then let's say on family history, patient tells us they've not really have any pertinent family history. If I click the confirm button without putting any information in, it's going to confirm the section complete, and it's going to list that section as essentially none. So as you can see, a lot of functionality here. Very simple, very quick, very powerful. We're getting a very actionable data set in a very quick way. And we're not always using these detail functions and stuff. We're only using those for situations where it's pertinent, like I mentioned, on like a Fosamax or a bisphosphonate patient where we want some of that detail, or maybe an allergy where I do want to know the specific reaction they had to a certain medicine. So it gives us that flexibility to get very granular, very deep in areas that that's clinically pertinent, but allows us to not get bogged down in those details when it doesn't really matter. It's not really going to change anything. It would only be wasting time and energy on everyone's part to be digging into certain things. So very, very powerful, lots of functionality here. And that's kind of a quick and dirty overview of some of those deeper functionalities that we could probably spend a lot more time kind of parsing out even further. But I think that hopefully gives a pretty good overview of those functionalities.